this video, I want to talk to you about positioning, marketing your niche, developing your niche. 7 niche shifts that move contractors from chasing work to building profit. Many times, contractors, we just focus on getting work, which means growing a backlog. And that doesn't necessarily will bring you profitability into your company. It will not necessarily grow your company. You might be tired of doing a lot of work, but it won't really grow the company in how you intended to be. Because contractors, most of us that just start from scratch, we just want to get more work, bid more projects, more project types. It's like if we thought there's not going to be any more work out there and that we have to take it all. And so we don't strategize as to what do we want to do? What kind of market do we want to belong to? What is it that we do well? How are we going to get there? So spending time in aligning and building clarity, it's going to pay dividends. I'm going to take you through the 7 shifts. It's going to be quick so you can take some action and organize yourself, and maybe Monday come with a strategy for marketing. Don't just go get everything that you find out there. Align with what you want, what's available, what the client wants, and develop your strategy. So shift number 1, get clear and what do you do best. Get clear and what do you do best. And that's gonna expect that you are going to have to say no to something and yes to something. Really go deep into determining what do you feel confident on doing. That's going to take you through a path of deciding what market are you going to go to. So what do you do best? If you don't position, I just had a meeting with a friend today. Positioning is everything because construction has a long sales cycle, which means just because you went out there to get work today, it doesn't mean tomorrow you have it. It takes a lot of steps to get a contract, let alone a lot of steps to get ready to even bill for a contract. And so positioning is key. And it means that spending time with yourself and your team to identify what is it that you really want and can do really well will pay dividends because specializations builds competitive advantage. So especially if you're a general contractor, you don't want to do everything. The first question they ask you is, what do you do? Don't say, I do everything, because that's going to throw a bad taste in the client. You don't want to do everything. You want to be able to say with certainty, with 100% certainty, I do this really, really well. So once you define that, now you're going to look at what is the market that is going to support a healthy profit. Because you could be able to do something really, really well, but if the market is not, that you're going after doesn't support the profit, it's not going to happen. What do I mean by that? Well, you might be going after a market that is just known to be competitive, that does not recognize value over price. And I would say, unless you're starving, you probably don't want to do that, because it's very hard to grow a company on a 10%, 5% net profit and gross profit. Grow your company, position for the next year and the next year and the next year, just on scrap. By the way, it's so easy to lose whatever you think good profit could be. Very easy. So it takes strategy. How do I do it? How much can I spend? Because construction is a timing game. And so analyze your competitive advantage, your position, what do you want, and so you can find the market that is going to recognize that you should be able to make money, and you can grow your company, your revenue with profitability, with a decent amount of profit. Now, your competitive advantage, when you apply for a project, they will ask you, what have you done? And most companies, most owners, they want to see a past performance. So that's something that you really want to get very, very good at, documenting your experience. And the clients are going to want to see proof that not only your company has done this work, but there's capacity in terms of staff to perform. And they are very strong about it. They feel very strong about it, and they make a lot of clarifications. Why? Because they don't want you to fail, and they don't want them to fail. Because when a company doesn't performs, in a company that promises something, whether it's a general contractor or a specialty contractor, everybody suffers. If you respond to a bid and you do not respond responsibly, you get selected in the wrong with the wrong basis. Maybe you don't do it on purpose, but you just don't do the due diligence. You either are not going to get the job because you don't have the past performance, or you're going to get the job maybe with the right profitability and maybe with the wrong profitability. And that is a formula for disaster. I don't want to remind you that, but I will, that only 4% of companies really make it after 10 years in construction. So the chances of losing are so high. And so positioning is important. And I've learned that being patient in our industry, nothing has taught me how to be patient than the construction industry. Nothing. Not even my 5 kids. I mean, nothing. Construction is not a game for people that are not mature emotionally. I mean, you can participate in the game, but you might not get the outcome that you expect. So emotionally, I mean, in being impatient, selecting projects impatiently, it's not advisable because you're not positioned to manage the risk. And I'm going to quote Warren Buffett again. The purpose of business is making money, profits, but it's not losing it. And if there's an industry that you can lose rapidly, it's construction, because the risk is all over the place. The risk is high, but if it's not as high if you position yourself to scale. So that's the shift number 4. When you develop your core niche, now you are also, now you're also focusing on systems. Systems that are going to take your company to another level. You are going to focus on performing as a machine. And there's areas that machine has to be happening all the time. In the area of sales, which is backlog, pre-construction. In the area of execution, where you make the money, I guess, not make it, because if you don't have a good estimate, you're not going to make anything. But if you select the wrong market, it's going to be hard. But the chances for you to really make money and perform and have sustainability and continuity is in operation. And until we don't spend time being really good at what we say we are really good, it's going to be hard. Take McDonald's, for example. McDonald's doesn't have, to my liking, a hamburger that I would eat. I won't. But they are incredibly good at executing, at performing, and producing hamburgers in seconds. So they also are really good at their processes, and they're really good at retaining profitability. That's harder in construction because there's a lot of players. So much can go wrong. But you can control what you can control, which is your own niche, what you say you do really well. If you venture in multiple markets at the same time when you're starting and don't take time to create the processes and the machine, that's going to affect your profitability. So get processes, get the machine going. The next one is align with a market that has the demand, but it's also good with paying contractors for the work they produce. They understand the difference between value and price. If the market doesn't have it, it won't be able to give it to you. It's just not going to happen. So don't go into a market where there's limited opportunities and everybody's going after the same work. But also the timing, right? The timing is important. When we started the company, let's say 2007, we were going into a financial crisis. So soon the word construction, the industry suffered a lot with the residential market impact. The impact that the residential market had, all these contractors, it's just like a domino effect, and it happens quickly. The contractors that were doing residential went into commercial, and they went into government work. And they went to bid just to survive. But when they bid and they're just trying to, I just want to have a project so we don't have to let go of people, which is not the right approach. I know we do that with our hearts, but it's hard to sustain a company when you don't know what's coming ahead, like what kind of profitability can you support just to keep employees. That's a very touchy subject for me because I don't like to fire people. But you gotta be able to know what's the return on the investment and justify it to our stakeholders. We have to be able to protect capital. And so that's done when you do all these things intentionally from the beginning. But if the market doesn't have the money, if you select the client that doesn't like to pay, if you select the client that does not believe the value that you provide deserves profitability, then you started in the wrong foot. And then the other one is choose a niche that your team can produce and develop well. Choose a market that values competency, accountability. I'll give you an extreme. You have the Army Corps of Engineers. People are afraid of the federal government. But, I love them. Because not only, yes, they do have a lot of requirements. Yes, they have tons of paperwork. Yes, they have compliance. Yes, but you know what? They pay. For me, that's amazing. They pay. They also put people in the projects that are competent. They're not just afraid of losing their jobs. These people care about what they do. They have a clear mission, and they're very, very committed to making it happen. And they understand they cannot do the work they want to do, the projects they want to do by themselves. So they value partnerships. They don't see you just as a vendor. They don't. There's clients like that. And you want to find those. You want to find what market are they in. You hear me? Find a client that feels good about paying. Find a client that feels good about, I had a client the other day. This was amazing. They told us, we went to celebrate the completion of a project. And this client, to our surprise, they said to my partner, my husband and I, we were celebrating, and every project has its things, and it's almost like a baby. You fabricate it in the estimating room, or maybe even before. You're working on a project for so long, and it's almost like a baby, and you nurture it, and then you get it done, and then you overcome challenges, and you plan, you're proactive. And this client at the end and the celebration, they were amazing. They gave us a gift that I've never had from a client here in Miami. They said, wow, they make it so easy, man. And I was so grateful. And I have prayed about this. I have prayed about having a client that we can align with. Because when you are who you are, and you partner with another client, a client that doesn't believe in the same things you believe, you have principles. And if your principles are do the right thing, and to work really hard, do the right thing, and get better every day, better and better and better, but they are not with the same philosophy, it's gonna be hard. And so find a way to get your clients to say they are so easy, in a way that you feel that you gave so much value and you made money, that your people, your team can grow with that environment. Find a client in a niche that supports a culture of productivity, a culture of profitability, of accountability, of communication. All of that is going to make your project super successful. But you know what? And I have one more for you. If you don't do the work, if you don't invest the time in gaining clarity for yourself as a business owner, or for your team and for your company at all levels, it's not only what kind of niche do I want? What do I do really well? No, it's also what kind of people do I want? What's the team the culture that I want to build? And it's got to be, what's the value? What are the values that I want people to feel in this company? Because your client is going to feel what you design. And so don't wait for a crisis to make you make these changes. Because when we change, everything around us changes. And who we are is manifested in every single person in our company. Focus only on what's going to make you grow. And that means it's a huge statement. I was meditating this morning and journaling, and realized how important it is to be in the state that we need to be productive, to make sure that we can see, hear, and feel our staff, our people, and our clients, our vendors. So important, because there's so many people that are going through hardship right now. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Let me give you number 7. Number 7 is focus only on what makes you grow. That also comes with clarity. That also comes with clarity. What's going to make you grow? So, for example, the cycle of the construction in the construction process is large. But if you divide it in 3 buckets, it's the sales part of it, the execution part of it, and the financial part of it. And in the background, you have the people, you have the risk. At the very minimum, you need to focus on all of them at the same time in order to be able, and this is just a suggestion, to grow sustainably your company. It's just a suggestion. And if you would like any idea around this, tell us in the chat. I want to scale. I want to scale. And please sign to the channel. Join our channel. How do you say it? Join our channel. We actually can use your help. So please join our channel and let us know, give us suggestions as to what do you want to learn. Because, we've grown. We've been in 0 20 years ago. But I would like to know, what are you interested in knowing, in learning, in hearing? Give us feedback. We want it. We're starting this and with a lot of interest in getting you in just giving value. That's the only interest. That's the interest we have. But I need to hear feedback from you. So please join the channel, and I hope you really focus on finding clarity for your business. I know it's hard, and I know there's so much to do, and I get it, and so much pressure, and so much this, and so much the other. But I promise you, nothing has transformed me. Nothing has transformed me than my business. I promise you, if you don't run away, if you stay committed to growing your company, if you stay committed to understand the patterns that get you to the results that you have today, and creating new ones, and investing in yourself, investing in your people, investing in your company, it's going to be rewarding. Because at the end of the day, this journey of life, that's what we're doing. We're learning. We're transforming our souls. We're evolving. And you might have better chances to attract a team that can help you scale without a team that you can leverage. It's very difficult. I'm not sure how to do it. But also, you're going to have a lot of fun. You might even attract your generation, your kids, to be part of your business. So with that, I leave you, and I wish you an amazing weekend. I wish you a lot of clarity, and I wish you that you have the blessing to taking that time and defining what do you really want in your business, in every area of the business. The information is available. It has never been easier to make money than now. So let's go do it.